And I have it here and I'll give it to you. One of the absolute greatest moments ever, because yes, you're in the middle of Culture Week, but more importantly, it is my birthday. Man, feeling so strong at 21, feeling so good at 21. For the person who's like, Tiffany, the only reason I'm watching this replay is because I want to see what kind of things you're going to teach and see if you're any useful. I'm going to say, okay, let me tell you the topic. 18 ways in which you can distribute, dominate, and change the game with your story. Okay, that's one of the topics we're going to cover. I'm going to go through 18 different ways, which means you can go like this. You can take notes. You can flip the page. You can take more notes. You can do this. You can send this to your friend and be like, hey, I bought this for you. Now, the truth of the matter is that you want to take the notes now. And more importantly, I want you to begin this journey with me by taking a moment and reflecting on your last year. In the last 24 hours, I've had the luxury of being called by every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Can I say that? Can I say that? Is this legal? And more importantly, I've had some of the greatest conversations ever. What's true is that I'm reminded that reflection is one of the best teachers ever. I reflected over the last 12 months about what I did and did not accomplish. And what I want to do is I'm going to take you down a lane. I want to take you down a lane, a very simple lane, a lane of amazingness, because it was my own moment of acknowledging to myself. I'm going to read you from my list. What I've learned over the last 21 years, but specifically over this last 12. So really quickly, can you just put the word happy birthday in the chat? Not because you're saluting me, because I want to make sure you're here and you're present. I'm also going to take a moment and open my bottle. I'm also going to take a moment and I'm going to ask you to tag a friend. I'm going to ask for a moment. It's going to be so good. Now, I'm going to beg for my laptop. I'm going to beg for my laptop, and hopefully we get through this thing, because what I'm going to do, if you give me a second, as you're watching this, so like if you're watching this on replay, put #replay. Do me a favor, let me know that you're watching this on replay, and more importantly, do me a favor, do me una favor, and thank you. And because I want to make sure that we send this. I want to make sure that all of the people who are trying to constantly figure out where we are and why are we hiding this super secretive information can find it, and they can find it with ease. I'm going to ask you, yes, to take a moment, and we're going to do this. I want you to take 30 seconds with me and answer this question. What's your greatest accomplishment of the last 12 months? What was your greatest accomplishment for the last 12 months? What was your greatest win for the last 12 months? What was your greatest accomplishment? What was your greatest win? What was your greatest accomplishment? What was your greatest win? Super important for me. What was your greatest accomplishment? What was your greatest win? And I'm going to ask you to share it with me in the chat, even if you're watching this on replay. So good. So deliciously good. So deliciously good. What was your greatest accomplishment? What was your greatest pain? What was the thing that you're like, flip, that didn't work? What was the thing that you were like, dag nabbit? People do say dag nabbit, I want you to know. I am one of them. Dag nabbit! And then we say it and we with it. Dag nabbit! Why do you want to stay here and why would you want to listen? Day 3. Because I'm gonna walk you through not only how to tell your story, I'm gonna give you 18 ways that you should be distributing and telling your story. I'm gonna give you 18 ways in which I use and leverage the world to generate $500,000. You can get to $500,000, $1 million, you can pick a number and you can get there. But for sure, I can say, you know what? 18 ways to tell your story to 500K. Okay, we are live.
Dun, 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 dun.
So I want to know what didn't go right. Let me read you my list. I want to read you my list. And this is going to be a long training. This is going to be like 17 hours. I'm going till tomorrow. No, I haven't done that yet. I'm just kidding. Psych. I know you wish. But no, this is going to go to probably, I don't know, like 42.2 minutes, or I'm going to pick a number. And at some moment, we're both going to know when the moment is for me to stop. But until then, here's what I do know. I have put 2 hours on the clock. I have a bottle that is unopened in front of me because it is my birthday. And so I'm going to open the bottle with you so we can do it together. And if you're with me on replay, I encourage you to pause and go and find a bottle of something amazing. And if you're not drinking something amazing, you're like, no, Tiffany, I need orange blossom ginger cucumber tea. And drink that. And I'm going to love you the same way. If you're in a country or a place that doesn't allow for alcohol, I'm drinking for both of us. And I have my DMs open. So I'm going to ask some questions and give some people the opportunity to either come and work with us. I'm going to give away 8 gifts because my birthday's on the 8th. No, I'm going to give away 21 gifts this week. In some way, shape, form, figure. On our list, I gave away 8, but I'm 21 years old forever. The other day, my daughter was like, my youngest one, she's 11, and she turned to my other daughter, and she's like, I don't understand. You know, Jada, you're about to turn 20, and mommy is 21. And you just hear look off into the distance like, I can't put my thumb on it, but something about this is wrong, you know? She's literally like, I'm going to get it one day. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to take a moment and read for you my list because I don't know which one of these items best or strongest delivers to you, but I do know one thing is for sure, that these lessons that I've learned are probably some of the greatest and most important pieces of me. And I want to share them with you because I know that somewhere inside of what you have or haven't accomplished is your ability to not only just own the pieces, but own where you are. So top most important lessons. Number 1. So the first lesson, be relentless in everything that you do all mother effing day. Super important. Be relentless in everything you do. Stop being half-baked. Stop walking. We are running out of time. And it's not about hustle all the time mentality. It is 100% about getting to the destination and being focused and being unapologetic for the time that you're spending. Number 2, the craving of more should always be satisfied. I know this is a hard one for people to swallow, but the craving of more should always be satisfied. So there's a really important question. I got to shoot an elephant in the room. Tiffany, why are you wearing this? Are you really wearing a coat like this? I am. Let me tell you why I'm wearing this coat. Because this was my grandmother's. This was my grandmother's coat, and she acquired it probably almost 40 years ago in the state of New York and in the Northeast. And you know what's so important for me is that my grandmother is an immigrant. She fled a country. I say fled. I feel like it's fled because she left everything, including her family, behind. And she left the country of Jamaica, went to the Northeast, specifically to Brooklyn, New York, and she worked around the clock like crazy to make a life for herself so that way she could bring her children over, and she changed the trajectory of my entire family. She's an immigrant. She was so proud of this specific coat. She was proud as hell. And she used to wear it, pop her collar, and drink scotch. She did. And she basically would say something that I don't know if it makes sense in English terms, but people would ask her questions about how she spends money. She was not rich by no means, but she was her own version of an entrepreneur. And she used to say to people, I'm going to make, I don't know how to say this in English, but I guess it comes out as I'm going to make my money fart. So stay with me on this. It's a statement. And when you say it in patois, it sounds different, but the essence of it is that she's like, in the few things that I'm going to do, the few times I'm going to spend money, I'm going to spend money, I'm going to spend it on myself, and everybody in the room is going to know I spent the money on it. You get it? Like, it's not going to be missed. And it was a very random statement that she used to say all the time, but it was such an important part of my childhood because, my grandmother looked like a white woman. And so in New York City, she looked like a white woman, and you can imagine she's holding my hand, and I'm a Black girl, and they often thought that I was Charity or that someone else was Charity because of her color. But my brother is darker than me, and she had so much pride in the fact that she did it for her family. I don't know that I don't know that I got to feel the impact of her talking to me and telling me her pride, but the fact that she was able to make a decision for all of us that changed the trajectory, changed everything. Now I'm going to do something really unconventional on camera because I'm going to take a call from my dad. And the reason why is because my dad wants to call me because it's my birthday. And hi, Daddy. So listen, hold on, everyone. I want you to know my dad is on phone. And I made a decision that I'm never going to not pick up my parents' phone calls if I can help it, if I see it, because of the fact that I have the fortune of having my father here with me. And my father is everything you see on this camera is every bit of the Winston himself. Right, Daddy? Yes. How you doing, Daddy? So he is here and he's calling me. And so I'm going to make a decision. So, Daddy, I'm on camera. I'm live on camera, but I'm taking your call because you're the most important person in the game.
You're a sweetheart.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's a brief call, but I'm grateful for this call. Look, Daddy, you like my lipstick? Do you approve of this one?
I love it. I just want to say, either way, I just want to say.
Daddy, everybody can hear you on camera. Isn't this so cool? My dad's like, oh, of course, absolutely, Daddy. So my dad. I was just telling a story, Daddy. So listen, I was just telling a story about my grandmother. Look what I'm wearing. This is Dilly's. Yeah, and so I was wearing it today to honor my grandmother. I wore it all day because of the fact that I was reminded of how hard she worked to get this. And the fact that she was so proud of it. I just said on camera her infamous statement that she was going to make her money fart. You remember that?
No, you didn't know that.
And so I was trying to explain it in English versus patois, how she would say it, but she had these pieces and no one could ever understand, why she was doing it. But, she is the epitome of an immigrant. And the other side of it is I was reminded of the fact that I'm everything that you are.
You're a sweetheart. I love you, and I just wanted to say happy birthday, and I hope to see you soon. And so take care. Love you, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.
You didn't take your picture, Daddy. Don't miss it.
Yeah, in fact.
So every time I FaceTime my dad goes, hold on, before he goes, and he takes a screenshot of the picture of my different looks and lipsticks, and he collects them.
Oh, that is so true. I did. Yeah,
I got it. And he goes, got it. You can go now. I love you more. Bye, Daddy-o.
Bye.
So I know how awkward and unconventional that was. But the truth of the matter is I made a decision to myself the other day that I would never fit into the norm of what is professional or politically correct or any of those things. And I I've made a decision in this new year. I'm going to throw all that stuff out the door. If you're with me, can you just put the words out the door in the chat? Out the door. Out the door in the chat. Out the door in the chat. It is really important for me to you that you have this moment, that you were able to share this moment with me, and I'm super grateful for it because it'll be in history forever as long as the world has decided to stay alive. Now, let me start down 18 ways. I'm going to get back to the lessons I've learned, but I'm going to walk through 18 ways. Because in Coaching Week, my number one objective was to walk through how you should tell your story. Now I'm going to put this jacket on. This is what we're doing today. This is my grandmother's jacket, and I'm determined because I want her and everything she was with me on this day as I think about the fact that I've been fortunate enough to have something like this in her presence. Now, I want you to think to yourself that the essence of telling your story really comes to this word called traffic, okay? And if you're watching with me, I'm going to ask you to put the word traffic in the chat. Traffic in the chat, okay? Put the word traffic because the name of the game is traffic. And in theory, the person who has the strongest traffic game wins. The person who has the strongest traffic game wins. Being in business is all about traffic. Being in business is all about traffic, okay? Being in business is all about traffic. Now, even if you're not in business right now and you're like, I just have something that I want to say to the world, I want you to be clear that your responsibility is to make sure that the world hears your story as many times as physically possible before you die. I know it sounds crazy and very harsh, but the truth is that we're all going to go at some point. And when we do go, I want to make sure that you've gotten it all out of your body. One of my greatest fears is that you're going to take your story and all this amazingness inside of you, your experience and your lessons and your truth, and it's going to die with you. That's dumb. Not only is it a dumb idea, but it's something that I'm like, please don't do it. Because once it's in the grave with you, all of that potential is gone and we can't get it back. And frankly, mother flipper, I need it. And I'm leaving children here in this life game, and they need it too. Forget the amount of context or textbooks or doctrine. Let me say that word. Let me open my bottle. I'm playing around with my emotions. So, doctrine that is written by people who have ideas and opinions. The world has an infinite amount of doctrine and books that are written by people with no experience. And we have a sea of people who are listening to the doctrine and the books written by people who have no experience. Do you know what that means? That means we have amazing people who are walking into the closet and in the dark. Because opinions can't help us as strongly and as effectively as experience will. The person who has walked through that journey, who has performed said surgery, the person who has accomplished said item, they have the experience in the market. You have the experience on the planet. If you don't tell your story every single day that you're alive on this planet, someone is telling the story for you, and they're writing a different narrative. If you don't tell your story every single day while you're here, I'm pouring a bottle. I don't want you to think anyone doing something too exciting. All right. The truth of the matter, now stay with me because this is really important. If you're not telling your story every single day, then it's very possible that the narrative is being written by somebody else. The doctrine in the books, they're really good, and some of them have amazing ideas, but there's nothing better than facts. What would you rather get you to the end of whatever you're trying to build right now? A sea of opinions or a sea of facts? For me, facts are going to give me harder rails. They're going to put me in a place in which I have much stronger guidelines to get me to the destination faster. And if you're with me and you hear me, I'm going to ask you to put these words. I want to tell my story fast. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and to tag one person that you know. Oh my gosh, am I really 20 minutes in? as I have already begun talking. Oh my God, I gotta talk faster. This is gonna be so awkward. This is gonna be so awkward. 20 minutes and I just got started.
You took a call.
The man took a picture. My dad is so cute. He basically doesn't know. He's like, I don't really know what you do, but no, it's the truth. He's like, because in his mind, I know he's like, for all I know, you can still be running those things, you know, like, because he's like, you are from Miami, you know, like everybody in the family, no one else is from Miami. I'm the only person in my family who's from Miami. Did I ever tell you that? So nobody else really, like, they understand Miami because they lived there for some years, but I'm the only born and raised out of our entire family.
Wow.
My brothers were born, some of them were born in Jamaica, sister, Jamaica, you know? So it's like, he'll be, you know, I think secretly in his mind, he's like, I don't think she's running. I don't think she's doing it, but whatever, you know, like, not like he doesn't care, but he's definitely like, well, I don't know. And then he's like, okay, what color lipstick are you wearing? And then he'll be like, I don't like that color. I don't like that one. That one doesn't look good, but I'm going to take the picture anyways. Oh, I love this color. He's the first one to critique. He's the first one to tell me if he likes my hair this way or that way. The other day he saw my hair red and he was like, I don't like the red. And he was like, well, maybe if it were brighter. Okay. So the number one first way, a blog. A blog is one of the most overlooked, simplest ways for you to create traffic inside of your business. Now, a blog where you sit down and you write is good, but what's even better is a blog that has a video as the baseline that is then transcribed. Because the name of the game is how many links and content links can you share? How many links and content links can you share? A blog. What if I got you to take one concept every single day and to write? No, just to talk. Watch how easy this is. I want you to watch how easy this is. So I'm going to talk for 60 seconds. Hey there, Tiffany Largy, and I have a Christmas tree and I have a fur coat, and I was thinking to myself how important it is for you to preserve the past. So many people let go of things from the past, but the greatest lessons come from the people who already walked before us. Here are 3 things that you can do really quickly to button up or to find more lessons sitting around you so that you can move further faster so that you don't make the same mistake. Number 1, stop reading this right now and find 5 people that you know that such and such and such. Now, my point in sharing this with you was because I wanted you to get a feel of how easy it is for you to talk into a camera. You talk into a camera, you send it to somewhere awesome like rev.com. If you have another transcribing service that you love, please go ahead and plug it on this thread. If you're inside of one of our programs, please head to the All Talk channel and make sure that, and please share with us your favorite. Rev.com is super slick and easy because it is phone-based for me and computer-based. You translate it, you copy, you paste this thing on a page, and then you press save. And then, like, if you're really like me and you suck at writing, then you say, okay, I'm going to use a tool like Grammarly.com. And you let Grammarly make sure that your there and there is the right thing. Your were and were is the right thing. And that is the truth, because everybody want to go, it's your Y-O-U-R-E, right? You know what? You know who you are. Tell me right now if you're one of those people, because I just need to. I'm working on my friend list for next month. So just please let me know if you're one of those people. Okay, the second thing. Okay, second thing here. So blog was number 1. Number 2, ways to tell your story, a podcast. Okay, blog and podcast. And there's 2 ways of creating a podcast. There is a very simple way of creating a podcast, like using a tool like anchor.com or Anchor an app, or there is a way of you creating a podcast in which you are hiring a company or you're doing it in-house. We personally don't use Anchor. We do use a team to produce our podcast and have forever. And it's a hybrid of in-house and outside, but I don't want you to sleep on your ability to put your voice in a container. How easy would it be for you right now to just take out your phone and then go, No, I don't want you to actually say that because you can't control that. You're going to do that awkwardly. But watch this. Watch this. It's so simple. 3 things that you can do right now to increase the loyalness of your customers and make them raving fans. Number 1, everybody, you should know your birthdays. You should know your customers and clients' birthdays. If you don't know your customers and clients' birthdays, this is just awkward. Well, Tiffany, I can't find them all. Yes, you can. You could take a tool like Survey Monkey, and you could collect or Typeform, and you can easily, no doubt about it, just collect their information, plug it into a system. You could even use something like Send Out Cards and schedule a thing and send them a 2-cent card with your face on it that says happy birthday. Well, Tiffany, it's not super professional. Listen, right now for my customers and clients to this day, no matter how much revenue, I sit and pack almost all of their gifts myself. And they're often from a box that I have collected. The tape is not straight, it's a little crooked. There's twine on it. But you know what's so valuable is that they know it's from me. They know that I took the time to create something. I could have hired somebody easily. I could have a company do this on repeat. I could have an admin go to Amazon and send everybody an Amazon box. There is nothing more impersonal than sending your customer gifts from Amazon. I mean, really, there is nothing more important, more worse. Now, there are some caveats. If you're like, oh, they really need to read these books, I get it. Send them a couple books on Amazon, sure, but that's not a gift. It's different. The book is good, but if you're not also sending them something that's personal or from you to them, it doesn't have to be expensive. And if it's a book, it can't be a run-of-the-mill book. It has to be the book you're reading right now, that you're like, oh, this book is good, and I'm reading it, or I just read it, and I want you to read it because I thought about you. But if you have this thing on super autopilot, I mean, man, come on, people. Come on, thought leaders. Now, the truth of the matter is that this is a conversation from me to them. That was 2 minutes worth of talking. I probably just killed somewhere inside of 400 words. Okay, I killed a couple hundred words. Now, the same thing I said for a video works for a podcast as well. A really good blog is about 750 words. You can't do less than 500. 500, you're just playing around. 750 words is really good. 750 to 1,000. I know some people who do 2,000. I'm going to say, man, you can get yourself to 750 words a blog. You're in the game. 1,000 words, you're sexy. 2,000 plus words, they fell asleep and they didn't tell you because you're sleeping with the eyes open. You don't want that, okay? The next thing I'm going to say, as you're thinking about traffic and telling your story is that we've covered 2. Okay, so we said blog, podcast, and then we've also covered, blog, podcast. That's it. Okay, so I'm on number 3 because I'm thinking about the next. I'm ahead. Okay, a newsletter. A newsletter. Some people in industries call it an e-zine, E-Z-I-N-E. A newsletter is so overlooked. Let me tell you, for a period of time, I wish I had a copy of it. I might try to find it and put it in this thread. For a period of time, our company had a newsletter. It was a beautifully published, almost mini magazine that was about 7 pages. We highlighted 1 or 2 clients. We told our story. We had an update of what we were going to be doing for the month and the week. And I loved it. And, to the point where I used it as we had proof of concept. We had people who were reading it all the time. What I love the most about it is that we got great feedback. It took me maybe 45 minutes to create because I was able to use templates. And more importantly, it allowed us to have a consistent way for the person who we were nurturing to tell us that they were leaning further and further into our story. Now, let me tell you why this stuff matters, because you might be thinking, Tiffany, I don't even know if I want to do this stuff. I want to read you, while I was waiting to come in here, I want to read you one of the emails that came in at 6:24. It is 6:36 right now. Hey, Tiffany, happy birthday to you. It's my birthday too. Oh my God, I love this. I can't wait to meet her or him. Phyllis? Okay. I've been listening and following you for a long time, and I know that I need to share my story, and sharing my story is the quickest way for me to connect to my potential clients. But that is my biggest struggle. Now, here's what's important about this. This is a lead that we have generated through nothing more than this person who has followed us. I'm probably going to find out. I wrote this email to them in the last 48 hours in our list, which I'm going to get to next. And they were able to consume it and go, okay, this person has something useful to say. I think this is valuable. I really want to listen. I want to I want to be a part of whatever it is that they have or they're saying. And more importantly, I want to be able to, at some point, listen to her enough so that she can tell her story, or she can help me tell my story. Now, really quickly, if you are watching this, can you do me a favor and can you like this? Can you like this video? Because lately Facebook has said to us, I don't know if you're valuable or useful. You're saying a lot of controversial things. You're saying words that I don't know if they're illegal, if they're allowed. I think those are a lot of 4-letter words back to back. And then they're like, I don't know. So if you can do me a favor and like this, and if you'd be willing to entertain me by sharing it. Can you like it and share it? I'm sure someone's going to report me for drinking. I'm drinking grape juice. This is grape juice. I want everybody to know. Okay, next. So next, the next piece is I sent a newsletter. This is something that you can print or you can just send on an email. We used to send a newsletter once a week on Sundays, a long, long time ago. And it was simple. It had a picture of something that we accomplished for the week at the top. And then it had a very simple go-to market on what we were doing, what we were trying to do, things we were thinking, etc. Okay. The next thing is another way to acquire or produce traffic is by buying a list. So many people overlook purchasing data. There's this idea out there that we need to create all the data. Okay, I'm going to ask you to entertain me, and I want you to write with me, buy a list with your name with it. Buy a list. Buy a list. You know, there was a time this year in which I wasn't even sure if people were listening to me in this last 12 months. And I remember I don't know if it was doubt, but I definitely said to myself, man, you know, we could be doing so much more. But ... And I came up with excuses and reasons. And I had so many people who said to me, you know what, man, like, Tiffany, we have been listening to you for X amount of time, and this is what's happened as a result. The amount of people who've made purchases from us in the last 12 months, we've nurtured them through these mediums, bananas. Now, buying a list is a really important thing because buying a list allows you the confidence and credibility and freedom to say, okay, well, I don't have this particular audience right now, but I'm going to buy a list. I'm going to nurture them. There are so many interesting, easy publications of lists that you can buy. If you have a favorite, I'm going to ask you to plug your list into the thread in the chat. And if you haven't tagged someone yet, I'm going to ask you to give me this gift and to tag this person, with, hi, I think this might help you grow this year. Now, so good. So here's what's important about this buying a list. Buying a list gives you instant traffic. It gives you instant data. It puts you in the driver's seat of acquiring data. It puts you in the driver's seat of, There's just no other way to say that. It puts you in the driver's seat. If you can't build an audience fast enough, you need to buy a list. You purchase a list. You acquire a list, okay? Now, this buy a list thing is real. Have we bought lists? For sure. As a matter of fact, we haven't bought a ton of lists, but we have purchase a list in some creative ways I'll talk about in just a moment. But for the first time, maybe 2 years ago, I made a decision to buy a list of somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 of our target audiences. And what's so great is that it allowed us to move a new idea further faster. So we didn't even buy a list for our current business. We were starting a new arm of our business. And the truth is that I didn't want the runway of building that audience. So I made a decision to spend some money and buy the list. Now I said 5,000 to 10,000. You don't have to buy that much. Do you know that you could buy a list of like 300 solid names for under like $100, $200, $300, $400, $500? Just think about what I'm saying. Do the math with me. If you buy a list and we call it, let's just easy math, 300 names cost you $300. That means it's $1 a name. And let's say 3 of those people buy from you and your products and services are anywhere from 3 to 5. If your products or services are more than $2,000 and 2 people out of the 300 buy, you've won. That's ka-ching. That's $4,000 for a $300 investment. If you would like to make an additional $4,000, I'm going to ask you to consider this question. If I were going to make an investment tomorrow, if I were going to buy a list, here's another way to cheat through this. Anybody want the cheat? Can you just give me the cheat in the chat? Give me the cheat in the chat. Give me the cheat. So many of these companies will give you 100 names for free. If you just tell them that you're thinking of buying their services and you think you're thinking of buying their product, you're like, I want a sample. Here's the words. You literally say to them, hey, I would like a sample of your list. I want to test out your list. Can you do me a favor and give me a sample of your list? They will send you 100 names. Imagine if they sent you 100 names of people you're in your target audience and you do a decent job of knowing who it is you want to serve or who you could serve or sell to. You got 100 of these names. You find a way to close just one of them. Sweet Jesus. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? For free. Think of all of the days that have already happened this year and you haven't asked for this sample list. There's 100 names waiting for you right now. You can acquire 100 names at no cost. You can acquire 100 names at no cost. You can acquire 100 names at no cost. Now, I'm going to take this up a small notch because I want to make sure that you really have a good general idea for, how do I say this? I want to make sure you have a good general idea for not just how to work stronger, but how to work better. I want to know really quickly, can you send me how many places is this live? Okay, I want to make sure. Okay, great, perfect. Okay, so regardless of what platform you're watching this from, I want you to think through this idea, this concept about the possibility of buying a list. So TV and radio is what's going to come next for me. There's this philosophy that TV is out of our reach, but there's ATV, BTV, and CTV. ATV is like trying to get a commercial on like Super Bowl or NBC's in between This Is Us, and that's just not going to work. Cheers to This Is Us. The only show that I watched on a plane, and I really had a lot of respect for it. Anybody ever watched that show on a plane? I was like, well, isn't that some of the best thing you ever had in your life right there?
Oh, yes. I'm like,
money in a glass.
I think I just found a new.
I earned it. Yes, you earned that. Yeah. That is one of those moments where you're like, man, this is more than my 20-some. I know that's right. Cheers. Cheers to Matt Gill.
Cheers to Tiffany Lardy.
Cheers to Matt Gill. Dun, dun, dun. This is one of those moments where you're like, yes, I'm going to spend $20-some for this bottle. Damn it. And then you cuss yourself and you're like, sweet. But this is grape juice, Facebook. All right. So now we have TV ads. So there's A, B, and C ads. So A ads are thought of that, it's out of my price range and they are. Chances are they are. The Super Bowl ads are super hard to come by. I'm saying that, and I was thinking of Radio Shack. Because Albert just reminded me the other day of when Radio Shack emptied out all their piggy banks, and I hate to say this, but they were going out of business, and then someone convinced them to run a Super Bowl ad. I still think it's one of the most craziest things I've seen. Just think about it. They done close half their stores. They're basically bankrupt, and then someone says, "I got it. I know how we're gonna save the future."
Let's clear the cash.
They were taking hammers, you get it, selling the chairs in parking lots to pay for the Super Bowl ad. I still can't get it. And then you watch the Super Bowl ad and you were like, oh, Radio Shack, why'd you? And then you felt like, oh, Radio Shack, why'd you do that? And you just felt awkward. Oh, so bad. That's why I was laughing to myself. So A ads, B ads, and C ads. Now, B ads, in most markets, that's where you have regional reach. My daughter has been on regional ads many times. My daughter, my middle child, is the state of California's no smoking, no vaping, anti-vaping, like ad girl, and for the state of California. And so on Good Morning America, it's very common to see her in between on a Good Morning America commercial. But that's when the market does something different. It's not a national presence. It's where they take the national syndicated show, they insert a regional or local-ish regional ad, and off and away it goes. Now there's C. Now C is a little different, but C, you can find wholesale pennies on the dollar. And I'm going to be testing this out again this year for some of our customers and clients. But C ads are in your local market, and they tend to be on off times, not necessarily middle of the night. These are just times that they haven't sold. Think about it for a moment. If you took the same tool, what if I told you that it's possible to get a TV ad ran for under $1,000? Now, maybe your ad's not running for 6 months, but what if it ran for 1 week? 300 people, do the math with me. 300 people see your ad, 2 of them buy your product and service. The $4,000, that's a gazillion dollar return on investment. TV ads are for the everyday business, not just the big time business, is one of the most overlooked. I do believe that everybody should be looking in their local city for local stations, because those salespeople, they are more prided, not necessarily on just selling their TV spots at the higher price, but they're also prided on getting all the slots filled. So it's getting all the slots filled and then getting the slots filled with good content. Right now in the chat, I'm going to ask you to remind yourself, because you are an absolute boss, that you have amazing content. Right now, I want you to put, hey, Julie, you've got amazing content. Tiffany, you've got amazing content. You have content right now that is just as good as whatever commercial you've seen. Flip, I'm going to tell you, half of the things I see, you have seen this before, or you've watched a commercial and you're like, who the hell put them on camera? And then you're like, did they pay for that? And then you're thinking to yourself, times must be different or hard. And you feel a little lost. Everybody has seen this before. I have. Whether it's the car dealership or this corny commercial from a national brand or Radio Shack. I'm going to have a moment of silence for Radio Shack, because I used to love that store like there was no tomorrow. I did. I used to be in some Radio Shack in Miami.
Tim Hortons says it.
You see how you play too much? You see how instantly you just do things that disrupt and injure people? People gonna be hurt on max accord. You talk too damn much. Hey, Avis, you have great content. Julie, you have great content. Don't miss my words. Everybody can be on TV. I know this sounds bananas. I'm not talking about going to take a Super Bowl ad out. But in your local city, you don't need a syndication of 25,000 people. You just need 300-400 people to see it. Imagine if 300-400 people saw your ad and half of them were the right person, a fourth of them were the right person, and 2 of them bought. What is the price point of a core offer that you have? What would be the price point of a core offer that you have? It would be so good. Okay, for the person who's just chiming in, I'm going through 18 ways in which you can right now distribute and tell your story. 18 ways, 18 of my favorite ways. 18 of my favorite ways. Okay. So I am going to take a moment. I want to know really quickly before I say anything else, which idea so far, can you just tell me in the chat that you go, oh, I really never thought about that. I actually could see myself applying that. Can you do me a favor? Tell me right now, like, like, which one so far you're like, I never thought about that before. Like, that's a little different. I never thought about that, but I could actually see it. I never thought about that, but that's actually within my reach. You've seen content that's inferior to yours more than twice. I promise. You've seen content that is inferior more than twice. Which one so far has been your favorite? I know. I'm a whole hell of a typing. I am. For 100%. I just did that, but it's okay. Tell me, what's your favorite? The podcast app, money, 100%. Blog and newsletter is like so overlooked. Blog and newsletter, money. Okay, let me give you another one to chew on just for 2.5 seconds. Not even for a full 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Postcards. Now, I know this sounds nanas, but let me tell you something. Postcards are still my favorite. Can I have an envelope really quick? Right there. Yep. So let me actually say postcards. I'm gonna backtrack from postcards and I'm gonna tell you mail. Okay, I'm gonna get to postcards in a moment. Mail. So postcards, and then the next one after that is mail. Okay, so we should be at number 5 or 6 at this point. 7. Yep. I knew that. So here we have mail. Now this is nothing more than us having in stock all the time our branded, mailed, or letter 10 envelopes. Before we had branded items, we always had a letter 10 envelope that we bought a couple hundred at a time. And we moved years ago into making sure that in all the offices, in everybody's house, when we had to go through the pandemic and work at home, everybody had a couple of envelopes at home, almost everybody. And the reason why this is so important, because nothing is better than putting something in a mail and tucking it away. Think about it with me. For under 50 cents, including the paper and the cost of this, maybe 70 cents, I get to send a direct message to somebody. Now, automated, this is not my friend, but handwritten, this is at the core of back to the basics. I'm going to ask you to put the word back to the basics in the chat. Back to the basics. Back to the basics. Back to the basics. I have been putting envelope in the mail for almost 20 years. It's probably like legit 18. It still works. I'm living proof of it. Now, not only does it work, but let me tell you right now, even in our company, we're about to do it all over again. The reason why it's important for me to have some form of an envelope, and if you're like, Tiffany, I don't have the money to do this, that's okay. You can get a letter 10 envelope and neatly write your name. You can buy stickers. You can buy a stamp. There's so many inexpensive ways to achieve the same thing, but a handwritten envelope almost always gets opened. I want my stuff open in the chat right now. I want you to have that clarity for yourself. I want my stuff open. Let me tell you this. 98% of the mail that comes to our office that has my name on it, I still want to open it. I don't put it in the trash, especially if I see that it's handwritten. Even if I don't know the person who's sending it, it's open. Now, sometimes I don't open my mail. Someone opens it for me. There are some seasons where I have so many pieces of mail, I can't even see the world. But I'm sharing this with you because I want the transparency that you want eyeballs on your material. This year, our company will spend more money on direct mail. I'm going to tell you the truth. I think that our company is going to spend the same amount of money on direct mail as we do ads online. That is what I'm forecasting in our company. That is what I want in our company. The reason why this is important for me is because an ad, I got to take the person down a process. They may or may not see it. But you put this in a mail, it'll take you 2 minutes. It'll take you 2 minutes to write about 5 to 10 envelopes. What if you wrote 5 envelopes every day? What if you wrote 10 envelopes every day, 5 days a week, 50 envelopes, 200 a month, and 5 of those people respond? Boom! 5 of those people respond, you sell one of your products and services. I don't know about you or me, but one of my products or services is easily $20,000. Do you understand what I just said? Yes, Tiffany, that's a lot of labor. Do work. Let me just hold on for a second. Do the work. I'm talking to a lot of people and I can't get them to respond. Send them a piece of mail. You know how many pieces of mail in the last 3 years I have sent person that says, hey, I called you and you didn't pick up? I mean, just think about the gravity of it. Think about you getting a piece of mail right now and then you're like, hey, it's Tiffany. I called you. You didn't pick up. They're going to be like, you have no other way to be like, you kind of like, well, damn, you know? Mine is going to be obnoxious and it's probably going to say, and I'm going to call you again next week. Last year during the pandemic, as I was making some shifts, we didn't send out as much mail. But I want to share with you that this is not just in the coaching industry or strategy or business. When my business partners were Xerox Corporation and Hewlett Packard, and I built a multiple 7-figure business, my guys had to come into the office and write 5 to 10 pieces of mail every single morning. And then they would bring it to us. We would stamp for them and I would send it out to their prospects. I did this for years. Direct mail is overlooked. Do the work. There is something about touching the person intimately. You cannot always be digital, which is why I decided to bring this one in earlier, because I don't want you to think that the whole world is a digital world. Because as strong as I might appear to be, I'm really not a digital person. I'm not a digital consumer as much as I am a tangible consumer to this day. It's the truth. I like digital pieces, but look around my office.
Touch it, feel it.
I want pieces of paper. I have a wonderful iPad that has all the same things on it. I need to touch and feel it. So I'm going to rewrite the same thing on a big sheet of paper. I'm going to put it up. Not everybody. Yes, for sure. It's how people receive things and how they learn, how they absorb. Anybody else like me, you just know you got to touch things. It's kind of like, man, kinesthetic was a big word. You know what?
For me.
No, I mean, it's a big word for all of us. Well, damn. This is some of the best grape juice that I've ever had. And I'm really grateful that we are allowed to have grape juice publicly. Children drink grape juice. Okay, really quickly, if you've learned something, can you please just let me know this is useful, and can you tell me what you've learned? Let people touch you. Touch them. Let people touch you, touch them. You know, I just see someone cutting those words out and using it as a meme or something ridiculous. And they're like, why are you the first one, though? Why are you the first one in the whole thing? Cannot behave. Cannot behave. You can't see it. Okay, so the truth of the matter is that this here overlook postcards. So we are notorious for having, designing, creating, crafting postcards. Postcards work. Postcards to mail are typically, sometimes if they're really small, they can be a little cheaper. If you do them in bulk, they can be a little cheaper. Now, the trouble with postcards is that they are a little higher cost to produce. We create custom postcards only. It is almost never are we going to have a generic postcard. Not saying it's not in our future, but we typically have custom. Now, whenever I create custom postcards, I have my cost for designing, and forget my cost for designing, right? So let's say you went to Fiverr or something like that, or you use these amazing templates in Canva. Oh my gosh. You could totally create a postcard. You know, I wish I had one. We had a camp that we were doing in the woods of California. We had camp and camp counselors and these things, and we created I designed the postcard myself on Canva. I sent it out to over 1,000 people easily. Now I'm sharing this with you because postcards you have your cost for designing, you have your cost for printing, your minimum cost at a really good place is over 250 postcards. that's going to cost you under $100. And then you're at 40 something cents a piece of mail. Now, putting a postcard in the mail seems like it's overlooked, but again, same thing applies. You handwrite the person's name. It's personal. They look at it. Because your goal is to get eyeballs on your content, on your information, and on the solution that you have to their problem. If you know the problem that your customer has really well, then when you create that postcard or you put a letter in the mail, you're going to win the game. Because all you need is 2 out of 300 people, and then you're slam dunking this thing. You're off to the races. You're fanning yourself like no tomorrow. Your legs wide open on this thing. You get it? Now, with this, I want you to consider that we've walked through a handful of ways. I'm on my way to 18, but we've gone through a handful of ways. Here's what's next. Here's what's next. Here's what's next. Okay. So, ads. Facebook ads are an overlooked area that I think people put too much pressure on, personally. Oh, but Tiffany, I have to have an ads expert and have it set up the right way. Listen, Facebook ad people. With changes and no changes, I probably ran our first 7 ads by myself. All I did is kept clicking until something looked like it makes sense. And then I added my credit card. I'm being honest. I don't want anyone to think I took some course. I literally was like, okay, we're talking to people 40 to 47. Great. And then I was like, they typically probably like Deepak Chopra, Oprah, such and such. Great. Then I was like, they have these titles. And I was like, okay. And they live in this state, because I omitted all the states that are full of foolishness. I omitted them. And then I was like, I don't even want to talk to people in those states. Don't even like those people. But I also did a focus on like California and New York City because I wanted to be strategic. I was like, those people are inundated with ads. Let me head over to states that need help, like Texas, you know? Then I was like, let me head over to states that need help, like Utah. They need a lot of help, you know? Let me head to states that need help, like Colorado. I went to states that needed help, that I knew that needed help. They needed help and prayer. And so I would create an ad. Now, here's the truth. The minimum amount of dollars that you can spend on Facebook to run an ad is $1 a day. I'm going to ask you to put the words $1 a day in the chat right now. I'm going to ask you to put $1 a day in the chat right now. $1 a day. $1 a day. Think about what I'm saying right now. Everybody can afford $1 a day. If you have access to Facebook and you're paying for internet or stealing internet from someone you know effectively, you can pay $1 a day. Don't tell me, Tiffany, I don't have the money right now. You do. You have a piece of clothing that you could sell right now, or a furniture or a knickknack that you can sell at this moment that is valuable and that is worth $1 a day. Did you know that you can put $1 a day on Facebook and Facebook will send it your information? Now, here are the 2 criteria. The first one that I just talked about is you creating the criteria. You create the criteria and then you say, go Facebook, go find those people. But let me tell you, one of the most overlooked areas and places is the people who currently follow you. The people who currently follow you, those 772 likes or 1,052 or 2,000 likes, you can go and send your information to them. Let me tell you the third and my favorite. If you have a list, you can download the list and then basically you say to Facebook, some of you know what that word means, but some of you are not ready for that language because you got a little bit offended. And you give it to Facebook and you say, Facebook, I have something awesome. I have a list of people that I want you to go and find. And I have a list of people that I want you to go find. And I want you to find people that are like them. This is one of my favorite. 3 ways. You give your list to Facebook and Facebook goes, oh, okay, all right. You have these people already? No problem. Bet. Then they go, how much money do you want to spend every day? And you're like, yo, I got $2. And they're like, bet. And then you're like, great, I got $2 a day, $60 in these streets. And then you say, yeah, Facebook, go do that. Now, Facebook is going to show to as many as possible that thing that you've created. And more importantly, all you need is 2 people to say yes to your products or services for them to make sense. Think about what I'm saying right now. You don't need 37. You just need 2 people. Well, Tiffany, if I had 37 people, it'd reign the game. But yes, but what if you just had 2 or 3 people? What if you just had 2 or 3 people? I feel like I need to take off the jacket right now. I feel like I'm going to take off the jacket. Is that okay if I take off this jacket, everybody? Is that okay? Hold on, wait. I got this. We're in this type of a relationship and part in our world. Take this, Facebook. Do me a favor. Do me a big favor. Look, he's like, is that over? Like, chase this thing? Okay. So I want you to be easy with me as we contemplate what the viability is of you connecting with an audience and you connecting with an audience strong. Giving Facebook the opportunity to take your list, send it out to people is super, it's clean, it's easy. Now, the next after that is dun, dun, dun. The next after that is YouTube ads. YouTube ads, Google ads are ripe for the picking. Same rules apply. Do they want you to spend more money? They do. But will they accept your measly $2? They will. And will we look at it like $2 is like, like James and the Giant Peach type stuff? The answer is yes. We're going to look at this $2 and be like, Facebook, Google, you are welcome. Right? And you're going to say it with pride and you're going to be excited. You don't have to have $75 a day. You don't have to spend $200 a day. One of the most overlooked areas is Facebook and Google ads at $2 a piece a day. Now, inside of me saying, okay, great. We've talked about postcards. We've talked about Google ads. I'm going to go to the next YouTube ads. Now, let's take this for a ride for a moment. Google, the number one in the whole life game, in the whole internet game, Google is it. I don't care who wants to try and argue with me. Google's running the game. They're number one. They're number one in terms of the search engine. Google, the number one search engine, owns the number 2, YouTube. They're running a whole mafia thing on this. Now, YouTube has ads, and I want you to think Google ads, YouTube ads. Both of them are friends, sisters, brothers. They can go together as one, or they can be separate endeavors. We have ran YouTube ads without running Google ads. Same rules apply. $1 to $2 a day. I'm running into this thing. I'm simply going, Facebook, take my list and my $2. Now, Google's a little different, so is YouTube, because I really want a criteria. The truth of the matter is that the criteria you can make as narrow as wide. I want you, for the sake of this, to think narrow wins. Right now in the chat, I'm going to ask you to put the words narrow wins. My narrow planning wins. My narrow strategy wins. You don't need a broad topic, or you need a micro topic. You don't need a broad topic, you need a micro topic. Someone said to me recently, they were like, Tiffany, man, a bottle of wine like that would last me a week. And do you know my response was? How? That's it.
Maybe you get a straw.
That's it. So good. Okay, you ready? So now we've talked about YouTube ads. You ready for what's next? Dun, 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 dun. Press releases. Press releases are crazy easy to produce. Do you know that you could go on Fiverr and for $35, you could have someone create a press release about your product, your service, your company, your new hire? If you have a new hire, you should always be thinking about press releasing something. I've ran a handful of press releases. You do a couple of things with it, okay? So you can send it locally. You can send it to your news stations, your radio stations. You can send it to your newspapers. So your TV news and your newspapers. But I want to be transparent and say this really open. They don't have to ask for it for you to send it. Press releases are one of the most overlooked, easiest ways. We've had maybe 4 press releases written, and if we spent $100. Now, I want to say this. There is something crazy valuable about having a PR company come in when you reach a certain point. I get it. Like I couldn't, not saying I couldn't get away with it. I don't want to say that like I'm that big and bad, but at this point in our business model, we would need to have a company or a professional because we're after much bigger publications or media, right? In our new year. But every single person today has the ability to 100% write a press release and send it around the globe. I remember my first time ever entertaining this. I was in the city of Los Angeles and we were doing this event. It was an event for women. And I had 3 really important people coming to speak at this event. Now, when you're creating things or content, I want you to think to yourself that you have a responsibility of being content worthy. Being content worthy is what makes the press release pop. So we had this event. I totally could have had this event. And I could have been like, hello, you're coming to see me. You are coming to see me, people, and I am amazing, and you're just going to see me, but I didn't. I had this amazing woman. Her name is Betsy, and Ana Gonzalez, who I think really is actually might be in love with her, for real. She was the woman who passed the law in the United States. She single-handedly campaigned a law that changed the game for women everywhere. And the truth is that there are boards in Fortune 1000, Fortune 500 companies, and they have been ran as a monopoly. They've been ran as a monopoly for a really long time. Not only have they been ran as a monopoly, but men have been dominating these boards. Women, they pass from person to person. They invite their friends. It's like the ultimate good old boy system. These people are being paid. Women are like pleading and begging to get in, and they're like, no, little lady, you stay home. And what happens is that the woman is completely out. Now, Betsy is one of the greatest humans I've ever met. She literally, I fangirl over her too. I'm not going to lie. Anna's in love with her. It's a little different, but I just fangirl over her. And what she did is she said, absolutely not. And she literally went, Skechers, CEO of Skechers, are you listening? Watch what I'm about to do. Johnson & Johnson, FedEx, watch what I'm about to do. Apple, did you hear me? Is this mic on? No BS. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. She's based out of LA. And what's really cool about it is that she single-handed carried this bill repetitively to the state of California, then to the US. And she finally got it on the bill. She got it approved. She got it passed, and it went, and it became live 2019. And she made a law. There's a US law that happened. California started the game that said that 20% of every board in the US had to have women on it. Now, because there were so many boards in existence, it was kind of crazy because they were like, wait, what? We got to switch up what we already got, but we got a really good system. We don't want to change this good old boy network. So the law gave that Fortune 500 company 3 years to change out the seats and the people. And even though, yes, you and I might like it if 50% of it, from a woman's standpoint, is on the board, just guaranteed a 20% is a huge win. Betsy is amazing. Now, why I'm telling you this is because when I learned I had her, I got her to speak at my event. She didn't know me before this. I reached out to her and I literally told her that she is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I got her to travel into Los Angeles. She passed this law. She had just passed it in November of that year. And I got her to speak on stage with me on a Monday night. I charged, I think, $85 a ticket for a women's only conference. We sold out the room in downtown Los Angeles. And for maybe 3.5 hours, I had women from all walks of life who came to hear her speak. Now, understand when I got her to come speak, in addition to a really high profile trademark attorney, and there was another woman, I got the president of Los Angeles Community College. And this woman is super popular. She's a big time woman. She's a big time woman because, Los Angeles has 14 million people. So if you're running the smallest thing there and you're carrying 5,000 of those people, you're a hero. So this woman was super huge. Now, here's why I'm telling you this. I strategically chose those people to be on the stage with me so that when I wrote a press release, the newspapers and the TVs would pay attention. It's really simple. I could have done this. It was called the Powerful Women's Conference. If Anna is listening to this, Anna will tell you because Anna was in the back of this room. We ran this game like it was no tomorrow. It was one of my favorite events that I've ever produced. It was a women's only event. Now, if you know me and you understand my business model, I don't serve only women. We're 30, 35% male, white male. in certain parts of our products. And for me, I wanted to test out walking into Woman Lane on a Monday night. I sold out an event, but I know for a fact that my press release had a big hand in it. The newspaper got a hold of it, TV got a hold of it. In the same month, I got interviewed on TV, I got interviewed in newspaper, but I really wasn't me. It was about what I was doing. Could I have taken it further? For sure. But this conundrum that I had created all became because I hired a person on Fiverr at that point to write a press release for $35. Now, the other part of what a great person on Fiverr is going to do is they're going to take the press release and they're going to send it out to their own little. You maybe spend another $30 for that. All in all, you're under $100, and they're going to send it to their contacts because all they do is push a couple buttons. Now, some places pick it up and they go, "Great, this is amazing," and some people go, "I don't know if I want to listen to this." But it doesn't change the fact that you're knocking on a door. You're putting information out there. You're getting eyeballs on who you are. You're making yourself more viable to the market. You're making yourself more desirable to the market. This has been good. So really quickly, before I say anything else, penny for your thoughts. Really quickly, I want to know, because we only have 7 more to go. Okay, we only have 7 more to go. So I need to know, really quickly, where are you? One sentence or one word to describe where you're at. Like where you really at, like where you be at. One sentence to describe where you are. Really quickly, one sentence to describe where you are. One sentence to describe where you are. No, it's not Betsy. Anna, can you find her name on it? Maybe it is her name. I don't reckon. Let me see if this is her.
What?
For sure.
Hey.
Anna is like, I'm telling you, like Anna's heart beats for this woman. I can't explain why.
Because she's a badass. That's why.
Betsy, please, 100%. Burke Hammer Cred Dare. She is one of the greatest humans that have ever lived. And if you know her, please tag her. She knows it. She knows that I'm one of her biggest fans. She runs an entire organization called Women 2020. Women something 2020. She has an event. She's asked me to speak. She's huge. Look at her. She's on CNBC, on television. Like, she's nothing to play with. She's definitely nothing to play with. But here's the thing.
She's pretty badass.
If I hadn't written the press release, then that wouldn't have been possible. So it looks like I am looking at the Ana Gonzalez.
Hi, happy birthday.
Oh, Ana Gonzalez.
Happy birthday.
Ana Gonzalez.
Yes.
Ana, I put this tree up just for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I just want to make
That's
sure
a
that
big
you know
tree.
I put this tree for you because I was like, oh my gosh, mija, que you're everything in eso vida. Hot diggity damn.
Damn,
Oh,
I
no,
know.
I'm
You're
so
talking about Betsy. That was a good memory. That's a good memory.
That's your favorite memory. That's it. So I didn't know
she's a
anybody
tough
else.
lady.
You were in love with this lady. So
Yes.
let me tell you, can we legally tell the story though?
Yeah,
No,
we
we
can
can't
tell it.
Can we tell the story?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So Betsy, so just visualize, I'm giving this keynote, okay? Where we're speaking, it's a big event. Just visualize, it's a room full of women. They've paid $85 or whatever they paid. They're taking notes. It's a Monday night. But it's women. It's like, women, you got to do these things. Women, then we have speaker. Okay. So I don't know what part it is, but it's a panel discussion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're in the middle of a panel discussion. So now me, Betsy, Elizabeth, another woman, we're there. And all of a sudden, Betsy's like, so a woman from the audience goes like this. This is the truth. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can do this legally and right. I don't want to screw this up because this is where Anna becomes like, I love you. Okay, now this is the truth. Okay, so the woman basically, a random woman in the audience is like, hi, I have a quick question for the panel. I have a quick question. And then, I'm the moderator because it's our event. It's a Do the Damn Thing event, but we've made it about women and these women. So I have the microphone and she asks a question. She's like, hi, how you doing? And in this question, she's like, listen, I just like to know, what if you're working in an environment and you have women who just don't support you and they don't support the initiatives that you're after and they don't really help the initiatives. They don't really do anything further. They just kind of, they just don't. Like, what do you do with those women? And I, talking to the other women, I'm like, well, who wants to take this question? Betsy's like, Betsy. So I was like, hey, I've been mindful. Okay, so I'm like, all right, Betsy, take the question. And Betsy gets up and Betsy's like, well, as far as I'm concerned, those women should just be done with. They should just die. I don't even know why those women are here anymore. I mean, the truth is that we should just take them to the parking lot. Listen, or the alley. Anna is in the back of this room like this. I love you. And I'm jumping up and down. She is drooling from both sides of her mouth. Betsy is like, did I answer?
I love Betsy.
Yes, she's yelling. Anna's yelling. She's like, I love you. Betsy, she's not even trying to hear nobody. She's just like, did I answer your question? Did you get what you need, little girl? Did you get it? And then you can see that in her mind. She's like, do you need me to show up so we could drag her out? Or you can handle this yourself. You got this? You got this tomorrow morning when we go to work? Oh, such a good, oh man, so good. So good. Anna, it's so good to see you. The truth of the matter is so much of who I am today and what I get to do and the people and the audiences that we serve is because of the OG. Ana Gonzalez's kindness, 2014, in November, was the catalyst for me making a decision. I had the luxury of seeing her again. I think it was January or February. I didn't see her again. I put a note on the internet in a wide place. Hi, I'm landing in Phoenix. Would you be willing? I need a ride. Now, I really didn't need a ride, but I was trying to practice trusting other people and talking to other people at that point because I was very close. I had built a 7-figure business, but I was hiding in my office. I had just gone to an event in December where I thought all the people were amazing, but what was being taught was trash. I really thought to myself that I did 100%.
True.
And I really felt like I was watching a see something, say something experience happen. And I left this event thinking, I got to save people. Come January, I get to come to a step closer so I can feel this whole coaching industry game. Anna responds on the internet and she says, hi, I can pick you up at the airport. I was very skeptical about people back then and I really didn't trust anybody. And she responded to this thing and I was like, well, I don't know what she looks like, but it was the truth of Anna coming to pick me up at the Phoenix airport. Now, here's the most important part. This is how Anna changes the world. She changed my world and how and why all of us are here. Because Anna, she picks me up. She picks up a couple other people though in her truck. I'll never forget it. We're jammed in the truck. So on the way back to the airport, we're jammed in the truck. And where we're going to is not in Phoenix. It's like an hour north. It's far away. It doesn't even make sense where we are. We're like on Indian reservation where we're staying and
Right.
experience we're having. And Anna, do you remember this? I get down, the Miami is about to come out. I get down from the car to the airport on the way back and I say, hey, where do you live? And I say, how long does it take you to get home from here? It was like 20, 30 minutes. And Anna goes, no. It's going to take me 4 hours. And I'm halfway out the truck and I'm looking at her like, what? Because in my mind, she lives in Phoenix because she responded to this SOS that I had. And I thought to myself, did you just volunteer to come pick me up in the state because you thought that I wouldn't have you thought because Uber and Lyft weren't a thing back then and I did not have an app. And she drove 3.5 hours to the Phoenix airport to come and get me. And then agreed to bring me back. I will never forget it. The selflessness that Anna showed me then was the beginning because up until that time, I really believed that people were not good people. And so I was reserved. I was closed. I was very like, you have to prove it to me before I'm going to be nice to you. And I kept thinking to myself as I got on the flight, this random pretend black-ish Mexican sort of woman, she drove all the way to come get me and she had nothing to gain. I didn't give her money. I tried to give her money. She didn't want it. We could not, she wasn't like, hey, I want you everybody to know, she didn't know that I ran a 7-figure business. She didn't know anything about my life because I wasn't even on the internet at that time. So you could not have put in my name and gone, let me see who this person is. I was like anonymous. And I definitely didn't say, I run a 7-figure business. I have such and such and such. Absolutely not. I 100% was like, whoa, did that woman just share kindness like that? Like, I got on the plane and I promise you that I said to myself, man, I don't even understand what she just showed me or what she taught me, but I want to be more like that. It's the truth. Because at that point in my life, I was not. So if anyone ever wants to know what is the OG, what's the background or the foundation of Do the Damn Thing Nation, that company, it is Ana Gonzalez. It is the pureness of love and consistency and showing up and doing the right thing even if it hurts.
Nope.
So Ana, on this day, I just want to say thank you. I'm so glad you're here.
Happy birthday, Mama. I love you.
I loved you.
I love you.
I loved you. I loved you.
Happy birthday. Thank you, Matt, for bringing me in.
I love you. Yay, Ana! Yay! Yay! Yay, Ana! Yay, Ana! Yay, Ana! Ready, one more time. Yay, Ana! That is so good. Okay, so I've gotten through. I loved having Ana, and thank you so much. Gracias a usted. Gracias por todo. For those of you pretend Spanish people that said thank you for it all. Okay, listen, I don't want to point any fingers. Okay, but you know exactly who they are. You understand? Don't try to pretend like it's not something else. It's exactly who they are. Okay. Ooh. Here we go. All right. Okay. Can you put ice on this, please? So in this, I know that we have, so let me get back to this list, okay? Because this list is good. Really quickly, can you just put I love you, Ana, and tag her because she needs to know it. Ana's one of the greatest people ever. And you might see, I don't know what number you see here, 10, 20, 30, 50 people, don't matter. We're going to Wembley. We're going to see the world. It wouldn't have been possible if Ana hadn't done what she knew to be best, which was teach me a different level of kindness. But she didn't teach me to be kind. I was already kind. I just was afraid and I didn't believe in people. And so that fear kept me trapped. And that potential of loving more people kept me trapped. But her willingness to go first. Inside of telling your story and distributing it, the number one kind of MO behind this thing is you have to go first. I want you to take a moment and write your name inside of this chat and put, I need to go first. Need to go first. I was reminded of that this year. I'm not going to wait for nobody for none of the things. I need to go first. Okay, here we go. Next way of telling your story, a contest. Contest. Why am I doing this? Let me tell you, it's good for my daughters. So my daughters and I have this really fun thing that we do. And anytime that we have like something exciting happen, I go, Gina, look, my happy dance. And then they emulate it. And then just imagine 4 fools. Happy dance. And so that is the happy dance that we have amongst inside of our little 4-girl squad team. Contests are so easy to produce. It's overlooked. It should not be overlooked. It should be something that you should do at least once a year. I have not done it once a year for the last 2 years, but please believe that I've done it many years in the past, and it is always on my birthday. The tool that I love to use is called Rafflecopter. Rafflecopter. I'm going to see if I can find it and put the raffle. There we go. Perfect. I found the tool. I have ran this tool time and time again. I know it very well, and it in the past has been my friend. Rafflecopter is one of my favorites because it allows you to seamlessly, I think you pay like $25 a month or $39 a month. You can run it online. You can run it to your customers and clients. You can run it to cold traffic. Let me tell you what's really great about it. Let's say you're like, you know what? I really, truly, I just want to here's what I want my contest to be. I want 2 people to opt in. I want someone to share my content on Instagram. I want to be able to write a blog. I want them to tag 5 people, share my item, opt into my newsletter. What it does is the software keeps track of all of the pieces of the contest that you're asking them to do. Rafflecopter. So you have these pieces of what they need to do offline or on your email list, etc. It keeps track of all of the things, and then it gives them points based on their ability to follow directions. So they follow directions, they do the thing, and then when they do the thing, they get entered. What I love most about Rafflecopter is that you don't have to be the one to figure out who wins. You keep it 100%, like when we use the tool, when we have in the past. We use the tool and we don't manipulate the tool. The tool goes around and it puts people into point system, and it puts them into an electronic kind of wheel, if you will, and then it pulls out a name out of a hat, and then you're like, all right, Andy Johnson, you win. Andy Johnson's the winner. It keeps you neutral. Now, under $100 a month or $100 for the one-time use, in 1 month, you can set the whole thing up. You can run it via Facebook, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. You can run it on the internet. And then you and I are off to the races, because then we have to say, oh, I know exactly how to water. I know exactly how to really make this thing happen, like water. The truth of the matter is that you and I know for a fact that if we can smoothly put people into the winning seat, and we can get them to opt in, because what you really need from an audience is you need your email address. You need their email address. You need their phone number. You need their social media. You want them to like you. Oh, so some of the other polls is you can have them like your Facebook page, like your Instagram, tag 3 people, put in your email address, and then the whole raffle is done. There's nothing better than that. I had to put this in here because I wanted you to be able to see it. Okay, we're winding down on this thing. Here we go. All right, so now joint ventures. There is something magical about taking other people and saying to them, hey, you have an audience that's complementary to me. I love the audience that you have. I think you should distribute me to your audience. Allow yourself to be distributed to other people's audiences. You can do this in so many forms. They could send out an email on your behalf. They could not send out an email on your behalf. They could also fill out, they could have you speak in one of their Facebook groups, which I'm going to talk to as the next. Joint ventures, other people who have complementary products and services to yours, and you put them in the seat of saying, okay, great. I know you have an audience. I'm going to serve your audience well. And in return, I'm going to ask you to let me either make an offer, allow them to opt into my list, allow me to have phone calls with them, something. All right, here we go. So the next is a Facebook or a group hijack. Facebook and LinkedIn, they have audiences. They have audiences, and you can have groups. You can do a group hijack. You can do a group hijack. Yes, and more yes. The truth of the matter is that not only can you do a group hijack, but you get the opportunity to say to yourself, you know what? I am going to take on your Facebook group for a day, 5 days, a week, 7 days, a month. And in return, I'm going to split the revenue with you 2020. I'm going to give you part of the ticket sales, like whatever it is that you're after. But what I know for sure, like what I'm crystal clear on, is that if you're willing to entertain, if you're willing to just entertain in your business, in your world, the ability to hijack a group, think about it. Those people have 500 people who are not talked to all the time. They're viable people. They're inside of a container. You reach out to the person, you say one of three things. One, hey, your group is not really active, but I can bring some life into it. And I can give you part of what I sell over the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I love 90 days because it gets people inside. The second is you can say, hey, you have a Facebook group that's moderately active. I'd love to be part of a jumpstart process in which you breathe some life into this thing, and I have some ideas on what I can bring to the table. The third is, hey, whoa, you got a highly active community, and here's what I think I can do for you. Because the person who's holding on to an active community or group, they 100%, they already know that they're sitting on their own gold mine. But what they want to know is, what do you bring to the table? How can you make this thing better? How can you make it stronger? How can you, and I don't mean just their group, but like themselves, their bottom line, what their goals are, what their initiatives. Because chances are, if a person has a really high engaged group, they've already invested a ton of time, dollars, resources, etc., into making it really awesome. So you're coming along the line, and you're not so much as pushing the objective of the group as much as you are putting the objective around the individual, the person who's running it. Deep breath. Deep breath. So next, you have customers and clients who love you. Insert long, awkward pause. You have customers and clients that love you, or you should have customers and clients that love you. And what you don't do is you don't have a formal way of asking them for referrals. Hey, I did a really good thing for you. And what do you think about you introducing me to some of the people that you know? What would you say if I asked you if you could introduce me to some of the people that you know? Could you introduce me to some of the people that you know, please? Pretty please. Can you do it? Okay, I'm going to ask you to put the word referral in the chat. Referral in the chat. I need to ask for okay, here's the question. Actually, before that, do you have any customers or clients out there who would say, yes, Julie's amazing? Do you have, if you can just put, yes, I do. I have people who think I'm amazing. That's what I need in the chat. I have people who think, hold on, let's just do this. Hold on. I have people who think I'm amazing in these streets. Okay. I have people who think I'm amazing in these streets. That's what I need. All 10. I have people who think I'm amazing in these streets. Yes. And I don't care if you put the right. Yes, Julie, own that. You did get that right. I think you're amazing in all of the streets. Yes, ma'am. That is correct. Your willingness to go like this. Hey, listen. Hey, how you doing? I'm working on my marketing and I really need your help. Can you give me a testimony? Do you know 3 or 4 people who would think I'm just as amazing as you think I am? Do you know 3 or 4 people that might think I'm amazing as you think I am? Boom. Hey, how you doing? Hi, how are you? I'm so glad to be a part of you. Quick question for you. Do you have people who think that I'm amazing or might think that I'm amazing like you think that I am? And then you go like this. Now, if you're not coming to the stage with 3 trains, you can't do that. But you can definitely, because you might not be at that level. That's a certain level. That's a VIP level for sure. But you might be like, You might be at that level. Because in this step, you need to ask the question and wait. If you haven't asked people in the last 30, 60, 90 days, hey, I really would like to know, I need to know, I know it sounds crazy, but you need, yes, Heidi, you need to watch the replay from the beginning. Don't play around. These 18 steps are completely gold. Hold on, watch. Let me make it gold for you. Because you're gonna see the fur coat. You haven't seen the fur coat. If you don't see the fur coat, I don't know this whole. I don't know if this is even useful. I'm gonna be honest with everybody.
Did you see
Mark
Stoner said happy birthday?
Mark Stoner did not say no happy birthday. Tell Mark Stoner I'm waiting for my flowers.
So he says happy birthday, as a matter of fact. Hold on.
Happy birthday!
It's the unicorn! Yay!
Happy birthday. Hope you're having a great one.
Yay! Yay! Oh, Mark Stoner. Oh, Mark Stoner. Good googly moogly. Mark Stoner is my best friend. You know what's funny is Mark Stoner, I don't even know if Mark has another me in his life or anything close to it. Because Mark Stoner, when I got to Nashville for this first time, I was like, Mark Stoner, there are houses here? Where are the log cabins and pipes? And Mark was like, what? I was like, you have structures and buildings in Nashville? What are you talking about? Mark Stoner had no idea he was going to have a black best friend. He had zero clue. God did not tell him. Jesus didn't tell him. Mary and Joseph missed it. And he ended up with a black best friend who was this random woman who is loud in everything that he goes. He has to take a deep breath for. But I love the fact that he owns it and handles it. Some of my greatest birthdays over the last couple of years have been because Mark Stoner showed up and reminded me that I was crazy valuable. He reminded me that I had an ungodly amount of potential. He reminded me of what I was capable of creating. And I want the world to know that he was the first person that I ever told, because I was so afraid that I was going to sell my business in 2014. When I was so afraid and I was like, I'm going to sell my company. My business was in hardware and software, and I was a very regional company, and I saw this industry that looked like it needed me desperately. And I felt like I needed to go over there, but I didn't really know what I was going to do. I didn't understand it. And I felt very inferior, very black, and very woman. And Mark Stoner was the first person to tell me, man, if anybody can do it, you can. He was the only person I called during the whole 6 months of trying to sell my company. I made a decision November, probably 8th of 2014. I closed on April 1st of 2015. And I called Mark, and the call went just like this, no BS. Because I had just met him in November. And it went like this. Hey, how you doing? You remember me? I'm your best friend. Remember I told you that you were my best friend? You remember I told you I was your best friend? And then he was like, oh, yeah. I was like, listen, I got to tell you something really important, because I'm going to sell my business. And since you're my best friend, you have to know all my deepest, darkest secrets. Verbatim. Listen, are you alone? Go somewhere where you're alone, damn it. Go somewhere where you're by yourself. This is best friend conversation. And he went somewhere where he was by himself. And he was like, okay, tell me. And I was like, I'm going to sell my company, but all the employees, everybody's mad. Everybody's mad. And I'll never forget that he was like, well, if there's someone who can get this done, it's you. And I'll never forget it, because he gave me this belief, and he had just met me. But the craziest part about this experience is that I gave him my ugly. And I didn't give him the pretty part of me. I was like, well, listen, hey, white guy, I'm black. And it was like, and I'm very loud, and I'm from Miami. And I was like, we don't do, all of us don't do illegal things. I only do part of them. And then I was like, but I'm very friendly, and I'm nice. And I was like, I can make coffee. And then I was like, I know about business. I got some things. And Mark let me in on the inside. And the truth of the matter is, so many people don't know how important he is to my world, to my life, to the future of DTDT. He has been one of the handful of people, and I mean handful. It's funny enough, because he didn't just believe in me. He proved it with his actions, his words, and all of the above. He became our first client here at DTDT for the Shadow CEO program, and he cheered me on every part of the way. And when I felt insecure and inferior, and when I was cussing in words that I can't really put into on camera because I'll get fined, he really stepped to the plate and he held me. He held me mentally, he held me emotionally, and he got me back to a place where I can go, I got this. He also breathed life into all of the ideas that I have. And so, Mark Stoner, I don't know if you can hear this right now, but I'll forever say thank you. I adore you and I love you, and I'm so grateful. Super grateful. Yay, Mark Stoner. It is so exciting for me to be here. Oh, Matt Gill is the life that we always wanted. Can you really quickly put Matt Gill is the life we always wanted in the chat? I just need everyone to know, because this is Matt Gill. Matt Gill has worked tirelessly to be all of the things and all of the places and all of the moments. That's all I'm going to say. And Matt Gill and I know who Paul Wall is. Some of you are too young for that. Matt Gill also got me my first pair of grills that I take in my bag with me everywhere I go. It is in the top pocket of my bag because it is one of the biggest and greatest reminders of what love looks like. And I always want to be reminded of when people are listening to me and I think they're not hearing me. A lot of people have thought I was joking about I want a grill. And I'm like, no, I'm being serious. I really would like a grill, you know? But Tiffany, people your age don't have grills. And I was like, so? You know? And Matt Gill got me a grill. Okay, so, this is so exciting. I don't know who comes next. Yay, this is so good. This is how we do it. Tiffany, you're off beat. No, you're off beat. This is how we do it. Okay, all right, here we go. All right. ¿Qué es eso? ¿Quién es eso? ¿Quién es?
To you, my best friend, my dear love. I just wanted to say happy birthday and give you a special message to let you know that everyone that is watching right now and everyone who knows you and loves you and has experienced any time with you knows that you are a blessing to the world, and you were born on this day and you have just given and helped people and shown your true bright light in the world, and this world is a better place because you were born today. So I hope that you have a special day today. I hope you know how special you are, and I hope you know how much I love you and appreciate you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
That is my best friend. That is the Candace Daniolo. So what I love the most about, listen, when I was so lost, our company used to be called Onwards to Freedom. Candace is another person that I walked up to her and I was like, hey, you're my best friend. I think there's a pattern here. He was like, hey, I was like, hey, you're my best friend. Candace and I, and this is exactly how it went. This is no BS. I literally was like, hi, no exaggeration. 2014-15, no exaggeration. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? This is Tiffany. You remember I'm your best friend? I'm coming to your house. Where do you live again, though? She tells it best. Now, I want everyone to learn from this because 10, 20 years ago, I felt like no one was in my corner. I made a decision to be intentional in 2014 to cultivate what I wanted, and I made a decision. Candace is one of the greatest gifts that has ever been given to me. That is the truth of the matter. Because I called her up and I was like, hey, you remember my name? I'm your best friend. But where you live, though? Because I'm going to come to your house. I'm trying to buy a ticket. I'm on the internet right now. I don't remember. Where you live? Was it Idaho or Wisconsin? And then she was like, I live in Chicago. I was like, great. Which one do I land in? No BS. No BS is exactly how it went. She was like, Landon O'Hare. I was like, okay, click, bought it. Well, what's your email address? I can forward you the ticket. You gotta pick me up. And then she was no BS. And then I forwarded her the ticket, and I was like, okay, listen, I heard it's cold over there. You could make sure I have an extra blanket in your room. You have 2 rooms, or I have to sleep in your bed. I went to her house, and the rest is history. Candace is one of my greatest heartbeats because when I was feeling so insecure and lost, and trying to go, do I want to scale this thing? How do you scale? What is it that you need to scale? More products and services? No, it was brand. Candace is an amazing human who has sold 2 multi-million-dollar companies, and I have the great fortune of not just calling her my best friend, but my children call Titi Candace. And when Jada's trying to figure out, she just finished doing a whole college talk with Jada, and I was like, well, I can't help you. I was literally like, I cannot. Candace swooped in, took the whole college conversation, Aunt Candace to the mother effing win. It is so invaluable for me because her love and her truth and her care for me and my life is like no other. And I would not even be close to where I was if it wasn't for her. When I didn't understand how to build a brand, the damn thing did not exist. Candace took my hand and she drove me to a place called Italy. And I'm going to put it here in the chat because I just went and shot a video in front of Italy about a month and a half ago in Chicago. And Italy is an amazing place that has a great hybrid of selling products and services maxed by experience. And this brand that they developed forces the person to spend like $200 to go to lunch. It doesn't even make sense. You're in the building, you spend $200 before you walk out. She took me there on probably like 2016 maybe, and she walked me around on like a Wednesday night for maybe 4 hours, and she schooled me on brand. For those of you who are inside of our programs and things like that, she has agreed. She's been bullied into coming in this year and teaching brand as she has taught me. She is everything that Do the Damn Thing is. Everything that we do gets ran by her. And it is one of my greatest honors to be able to call her my best friend. Candace, I love you like forever. She is the first person to have a drink with me today on my birthday. And she called me just to do so because she's everything I ever wanted to have in this life. Thank you, Candace. I love you. That is so good. That is so good. Do I get through the next 5? Okay. So I'm supposed to teach something. I forget what we teaching though. Okay, 3 more. Everybody should have an event. Everybody should have some form of an event where you gather people and you basically say, sit your butt down. Let me teach you what I know. And I'm going to give it to you in a way that's easy for you to bite size. And more importantly, I'm going to do it and I'm going to teach you and show you and prove to you, because that's what you want to know, that I'm the expert in my space. Some form of a gathering, a workshop, a masterclass, an intensive, a class, an event, something like that is everything I wanted to be. And the truth is that I moved myself from teaching one-on-one to teaching one-to-many. And I say everything I wanted to be because I wanted to be a person who had the ability to provide to more people than just the one, because just the one is good. It's amazing. But I, like me personally, so you know who I am, I have been called to go around the whole globe. I got to get to Wembley, check, that's just a stop. But then after that, I got to get to, like, after that and before that and between it, I got to get to every country, all of the people then, every last one. And it's like, if I'm going to do that, then, and before God calls me home, then I have to have a way for me to teach many at one time. I need to teach many at one time. Many at one time. Many at one time. Just think of an event as an opportunity for you to teach many at one time. Okay? And you want to do it. All right, I'm done. Okay, really quickly in the chat, many at one time. Many at one time. If you could spell good googly moogly, I would have you write that, but that's not going to work. Now, I want to be... Okay, we got 2 more left in this game. Okay, 2 more that are left in this game. So I have talked about all these things, but let me just say social media. Social media is nothing more than you picking a social media platform and dominating on that place. Here in our company and in our world, I'm going to teach you to go down only two paths, where you're non-stumble uponable and where you are stumble uponable. Facebook is not a stumble uponable platform that I prefer. And the reason why is because nobody under the sun of God heads to Facebook and presses search how to build a cake, how to build a fence, how to pet a dog, how to build a car. Nobody is doing that on Facebook, but we are doing that where? Tell me where really quickly in the chat. Where are we doing that? Where are we doing that? If you're watching this on replay, be present. If you want to learn and grow, be present. This is the same content and information that I teach and our clients spend thousands of dollars on. You are getting it at this moment. However, you're acquiring it. Do not take it for granted and do the work, because I did the work to acquire the knowledge to get you here. We're on the same page? Now, in this, I say to you, whoa, 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 whoa. Google has a really simple way of you being able to search for what you want. You just have to be present on that platform, and you have to be searchable. YouTube, Google, stumble uponable platforms. Instagram, semi-stumble uponable platform. LinkedIn, semi-stumble uponable platform. Facebook, not so much. Facebook is not so much a stumble uponable platform. It's not. We have this illusion because there's all these people doing all these things, but it's all based on the friend that we're acquiring and the network that we're part of. And it's not so consistent. And Facebook is peculiar about who they show your content to. They don't even like you if you're not paying them so much, you know? So I don't want you to spend all your time going, I'm going to build my own business on Facebook. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that in today's market. You have to be somewhere where you're stumble uponable. I also want to say this. I only mentioned 4 or 5 platforms in terms of social media. There are 103 social media platforms. I'm going to ask you to put the words 103 in the chat. Oh my gosh. This is so good. Here is the last. Ready? Last way for you to tell your story. My favorite. It is how I 100% attribute $500,000, $1 million, and $20 million in our customers and clients who have added to the economy. It is in this. It is in taking the stage and speaking. Speaking is one of the most overlooked ways in which people just don't understand. Podcast, radio, that's good, but none of those will replace getting on stage, period. Well, Tiffany, I was on this podcast. Now, unless you're on Joe Rogan's podcast, I'm not even trying to hear that. Like, oh, I was on, like the She Summit podcast. Okay, great. You had 400 listeners. Okay, that's awesome. 20 of them responded to me. Okay, that's a lot of back and forth and back and conversation, from a lead perspective. Okay, now over here, boo, we get on stage, 50 people in the room, 20% of those people go, I need you. 13 of those people go, hey, where do I sign up? Where do I pay my deposit? You get 5 of those people to buy your $3,000 product. 3,000 times 5 people, you have 15 grand in the bank. You speak 2 times a month, 30 grand in the bank. You speak 10 months out of the year. You have a $300,000 a month, a year business. But if you spoke once a week, twice a week, you could have a $300,000 a month business. I attribute my first 6 figures in 4 months, 100% to me taking the stage and speaking. Over the last couple of years, I've spoken on over 300 stages. Today, I'm a paid keynote speaker, but make no mistake about it. I want to be transparent as I tell you this. If you told me, Tiffany, you could fly across the country and speak to 100 people who are your ideal audience, but here's the caveat. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. You can only speak for 3 to 5 minutes, but you have to pay $30,000 to do it. I'm going to be like this. Do you see how long my tongue came? I was like, oh my God, so fast. Now, I have a lot of peers and friends who are like, no, Tiffany, I put that in Facebook ads. I'm like, depending on the business, sure. But right out of the gate, I would rather put like me on stage as a sure bet. Listen, everybody I know can bet. They can bet on me being on stage because I'm going to be on stage and I'm going to be very clear with the problem I solve, who I solve it for, what gives me the right, and why am I solving it. I'm also going to be crazy clear on what I want that person to do. So as long as I'm really clear about these components, then I have the ability to generate not just a lead, but I do something really important. I bypass all of the small things, the small, tiny things that take me to the big lead. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Instead of me selling a $400 or $500 product, I can sell a $20, $30, $50, $75, $100,000 product right out of the gate. I've done it. Cheers to me. Okay. That was last but not least. What's next? OMG. Who's next?
Hey, you. I want to make sure that you have an extremely happy birthday. You know what? It's no wonder that we're such good friends and that I like you so much. You are also an Aquarius. That's why we're like this. So
We
I
are.
hope this day brings you everything that you deserve. I hope it brings you your best. I hope it brings you relaxation. I hope it brings you peace, tranquility. I hope it brings you enlightenment. I hope it brings you, the best gift of all. Happy birthday.
Yay! This is Ty. Ah! I'm so fortunate. Oh my gosh. Ty Cohen and I are like two peas in a pod. And you know, he has a name for me, which I won't say on camera, but the truth of the matter is I'm grateful for it. And you know, and not to impede on his life or his wife. His wife is amazing. Melinda is one of the most brilliant, smartest women ever. And everyone understands this very crazy dynamic that Ty and I have. But I want everyone to know Ty is so much a part of my not just growth, and I'm so grateful that he was here. You have no idea. Ty, the other day, I wrote an email in the middle of the night, like 3:30 in the morning, and it was a moment of a dip where I was true about what happens when you feel like no one can see what you're doing, and you have a moment either that you want to cry, you want to cuss out loud, or you just want to lay on the ground and not get up. I had one of those moments, and I sat down and I wrote a whole email, and I sent it out to our entire list, tens of thousands of people at maybe 3:30 in the morning. And he wrote me a text at like 5:15, and he said, "Oh my mother effing God, that email touched me." And I thought to myself, it's so crazy. Ty is a multi-millionaire. If he's not on a cruise, he's on a beach fanning himself. If he's not trying to buy all of Cuba, he's doing something else. And what's real is that he is so much a part of my strategy and my thinking around the things that I do. But he sent me a text at like 5:30 in the morning, and he said something like, "I just want you to know you never know who's watching. This impacted me. Thank you so much." That was amazing. And you know, it sounds so simple, but it was such an important moment for me because as I've gotten to my next level, I have so many people who don't back up their words. And so it forced me in the last 24 months to make new cuts, to make new decisions. There are people who think that they're backing up their words, but they're half-baked. Ty Cohen is the big brother or the heartbeat that allows me to have the confidence. And you know what's so cool is that, you know, I was with him in Austin a couple of months ago, and he walked me around the room with pride, and he said, hey, because quarter of the people were doing billions. The other people were doing 8 and 9 figures in revenue, and they're just the big wigs. It was the top 2% in digital marketing on the planet. They were in this room, about 100 of them. Ty literally walked me around the room and was like, you mother flipper, shut up. Stop talking real quick. This is Tiffany Lardy. Did you meet her yet? Because y'all missing out on your life. Go ahead, talk to her. You're welcome. I'm going to give you 8 minutes with her. talk fast and can't have too much of her time because we're going to be doing some stuff. And the truth is that it has been the same way for years. So Ty Cohen, sweet Jesus, thank you. Matt, thank you. Thank you. There's more people. Oh my gosh.
Hi, beautiful. I am so happy to be able to have this opportunity to be a part of your life and see another sunrise for a new year
Love
with
Avis.
you, Miss Tiffany Largy. I just am so grateful for who you are, you being you, and doing the damn thing, and allowing me to be me and also do the damn thing. I wish you all the best that this life has to offer. Not just this year, but for years to come. This is a great opportunity, and I'm so happy for you. I see great things, and of course, expecting great things as always, because you are Tiffany Larky, and the best that there is in all you do and who you are. That's to be expected.
Oh man.
And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, allowing me to know you at this moment in time, and just wishing you all the best. It has been a wonderful journey. I have learned so much. I have grown so much from just being in the hemisphere.
I love this woman. I
in
love
your
her.
hemisphere, in proximity. And it is awesome. And I thank you. And I wish you the happiest of happy birthdays there could be. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Love you.
I love you more, Avis. Mother effing Avis in these motherfucking streets. Listen, Avis is one of our Boss Complete, Boss Collective members. And she inspires me all the time. Because she came to an event, a night school or something some time ago, and she was like, I hate my job. I'm making big dollars, but I hate my job. And you tell me that I can dream out loud. I can love living my life. And I was like, Avis, come on with it. Just be willing to come over here and let me love you just for 2 seconds. Can you just say I love you, Avis, in the chat right now if you're watching this? Because Avis is just everything. And what's so true is that she made a decision to trust me. She flew to Phoenix. She did all these things, and I've watched her grow. Now, here's the truth of the matter. I don't teach our story intensives anymore, but I walked into a story intensive, and all of a sudden, let's just say I could have put on a song like Santa Claus is coming to town, or I could put on a song like apple bottom jeans, roots with the fur, the hope was looking at her. She hit the floor. Next thing you know, shorty go low. Listen, Avis is on the ground, and I'm like, who is that woman? Why is she on the ground? How old is she? What is she doing? But Avis is not just on the ground. Avis is scrubbing the ground. And then she's like, listen, children, God darn it. Let me teach y'all something. And then she'll get back on the floor, and then you feel stupid about yourself, and you're literally like, well, dang. Well, dang. Oh my gosh, you just have no idea how delicious this is. This is so good. Oh my God, Lord, sweet Jesus, Mary, Joseph, and all of the pieces involved. I'm so grateful. I want it to be documented. As I finish this book.
Happy birthday, Tiffany. Oh, I love you so much. Happy birthday.
Julie!
I hope you're having the absolute best day ever. You deserve every bit of it, every bit of joy and happiness and love and fun. Because I know you love your fun.
I know you're
Happy birthday. Thank you for everything that you do. I'm so grateful for you.
Isn't that
incredible?
wonderful?
And I cannot wait to be there soon and hug you and laugh with you in person. Have the absolute best day and make this year more kick-ass than any year you've ever had. Love you.
Listen, So Julie tells me, she comes to a story intensive. Again, I'm not teaching the story intensive, but Matt and Jarika are teaching. I walk in through the door in like a cameo, a 2-second cameo that's really, I really shouldn't be there. And Julie's like, I got something for you. And I'm like, what? And she gives me a book. Gosh, I can't say the words, but it's like the girl who gives 0 blanks. And I was like, is that a little girl who's 5 to 6? Who was talking about, she's like, Tiffany, this book made me think of you. I got it all the way from London. I had it flown in, and the dolphins swam from that ocean to this ocean. And then people ran over to Phoenix and they handed it. And she doesn't know this, but it is one of my prized possessions. She saw this book and she thought to herself, the essence of this book, though I don't even know the depth of it, is so Tiffany. She knew that she would see me in a cameo through one of our live events called the Story Intensive. I walked in through the room and she gave it to me, and I just looked at the picture today, not yesterday. That was like 8 months ago. I went to go look at that picture because I remember when she ran up to me and she was like, hey, I got this book for you. And I was like, ah. And I had asked her if it was okay to take a picture with me. And she was like, what? Are you asking me to take a picture? I was like, yes, I want this in my memory. So I took a picture. We took a really great selfie of this picture, and it warms my heart. Julie is one of those humans who has reminded me, right along with Avis, but she's reminded me of a different way as to why I do what I do. When I tell her I'm a Black woman and she's like, I'm a white woman, and then she's like, let's hold hands and stand together, and we say, I'm gonna use some words. I'm gonna use some. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a moment. She'll be like, she'll hold my hand. She'll be like, forget those. That's wrong. Okay? It's one of the greatest things ever, because I'm like, you right. But then I'm also like, I'm going to stand behind Julie. Julie is one of those women who is relentless in her pursuit for herself. I have watched her take herself on. And it's really tough as a woman to take yourself on. It's really tough as a woman to take yourself on. It's also tough as a person who is just fighting to take yourself on, because you don't really know how big or wide or deep that's going to go. But what I know for sure is that Julie has reminded me on this journey of why I'm doing what I'm doing. She also reminds me, she doesn't look anything like me. She's from, I think she's from Kentucky.
Kansas.
Same thing. Kansas and Kentucky is the same thing. Kentucky is a pretend Berber. Make me stop. I'm gonna behave myself. I was gonna say Kentucky is a pretend bourbon manufacturer.
Ooh.
I didn't know how to get that out correctly. Kansas. She's from Kansas, Wizard of Oz people, and she is as me in Miami as I've ever wanted to be in this life.
She said it's so different.
She reminds me of why I do what I do, but she also reminded me of the power of story. I told my story. She made a decision to lean in, and she's a different woman because of it. Yes, poor baby, poor. I am super grateful for you, Julie. You have no idea. Matt will tell you, truth be told, in the last 5 days, I have said your name maybe 17 times. I have been talking about you all week. I am grateful to be here with you in this moment, and you're amazing, and I love you.
Cheers to you, Julie.
Cheers! Yay! 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 What? There's more?
Long way. The journey to Wembley is even greater. One of the wildest dreams I've ever been a part of. But I appreciate the work and everything that you put into it, and I appreciate us being friends. Listen, here's to many, many more. You're one of the best to ever do it. Let's go. Let's get it. Happy birthday. Enjoy your day. Hope everything is amazing and beautiful, wonderful for you. Happy birthday.
All right, so that's Damien. That's Damien Rufus. That short note is so powerful because, there was a time in which when the pandemic happened, and I said to myself, man, all of our events are canceled around the world. I had just spent more money than I had ever spent to produce events around the world. It's going to be called the Do the Damn Thing World Tour. Damien and I we're part of a mastermind and a very exclusive collective. And in that conversation, I got reminded of who he was. Fast forward. I said to Damien one thing, I know it sounds crazy, but I think ... We were doing night school at a very simple level. One day I was leaving Damien's world, or his house, his studio. And I said, hey, I got to go. I'm going back to Los Angeles because I had begun a process of building with him in person. And he goes, what are you going to do? And I was like, night school. And I explained to him what night school was. And he looked at me and he was like, you can't do night school like that anymore. He didn't say it in those words. Those were the nice words. He had some ugly words, but they were truthful. And I showed him some footage and he was like, ah. He brought us and our production to a crashing halt. And he forced me to think differently. Because I was so focused, not so focused, but I didn't realize that I was planning, building, doing for where we were, not for where we're going. The lesson here, if you're going to write down the lesson, stop planning and doing things for where you are and be in the midst of where you're going. I knew that we were going somewhere else. I didn't know where it was. Damien took me inside of himself. It's not even inside of his world, because I really want to say that it was inside of his world, but it's not. It's inside of himself, because he has a big world, but he really made a decision to put me inside of him. And through that process, I began to challenge myself and ask myself new questions. I forced myself to trust and to take the conversation to a brand new level. What could we produce? What could we be on camera? Today, you get to see all of the lights and things we have and things that are built and Christmas trees, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's always been like that. It's not always been like that. Damien is the person who catapulted me faster and further than anything else when it came to production and challenged my thinking. A lot of people don't know this, but Damien named the Boss Complete program. I was sitting in front of him. It was about 9:30 at night, and I told him I was done with what I was building. I was about to walk out of the door, and Damien said something to me, and I remember my back to him, and I was like, OMG. I teach this mapping out with Post-its, and I quickly asked him for Post-its, and I basically told him he was stuck with me for another 2-3 days, because now he said something to me that triggered something, and I needed to stay put and build it. I got 3 poster boards. And on poster boards, I began to map out what I knew to be all of my knowledge around building, around building. The truth of the matter is that Damien held my hand and he watched me build this process on sticky notes, and which is what I teach our customers and clients today, years and years ago. And, our friendship is kind of like no other, because I trusted him enough to trust him enough. Because at that point, I really didn't trust anybody with my business. I trusted people with me, but I realized I didn't trust them with my business. Damien was the first time I ever trusted someone with our business. He walked into my world. He said a bunch of things. And fast forward, I walked through the Boss Complete. And then I knew I had reached another level in my thinking of how we could serve and help people. After I understood that we were headed to Wembley, Damien is the first person I sat in front of, and I will never forget it. He picked me up from somewhere, and I don't remember where we were, but I was in Phoenix, and he picked me up from somewhere. We were at a restaurant, and he said something to me, and I said, hey, guess what? I have great news. Oh my gosh, I don't know what he was talking about. He probably was like, hey, listen, I just found the cure for like AIDS and cancer. And I was like, that's amazing. Guess what? I gotta tell you something. He was like, what? And I said, we're going to Wembley and you're going to do XYZ in it. And he went, yep, I'm in. And then he said, absolutely, going to get you to Wembley. And I'll never forget that words in that moment, because I didn't have to explain to him the depth or why I felt compelled to be at Wembley. But he reassured me in that moment that Wembley was possible because I'm Tiffany Largy. There has been a lot of trying times in the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and Damien's response has been always to remind me of who I am and why I'm capable of doing the thing that is impossible for everybody else, but that is meant for me. Damien Rufus, thank you. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
I hear music that's not playing, 'cause guess what? Go shawty, it's your birthday. 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 'Cause you drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it like, yep, I'm low to the floor, low to the floor. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it like it's hot. Ah! It's your birthday, Tiffany! Happy, happy, happy birthday. Oh my goodness, I am so honored and blessed to be able to send you these birthday wishes. I am thanking God for you because I know that the impact that you have made on my life, it wouldn't be here if you weren't here. So I thank God for allowing you to see another birthday, another year. I celebrate you. I celebrate with you. And I hope that you are celebrating yourself because you deserve it. You deserve it. So do something for Tiffany. You are always putting others before you. It is time to put yourself first. So go. Enjoy your day. Blow out some candles. Drink some Moscato. Toast it up with a glass of Moscato. Yep, I said it. But seriously, I thank God for you, Tiffany. You have impacted my life so much, and I am just so thankful to be a part of your life. Be blessed. Have a blessed one. Enjoy yourself. It's your birthday, so turn up, turn up, turn up. Earrings falling out. Happy birthday, Tiffany. I love you. See you soon. Bye.
I love you too. Let me tell you about Mary. Oh, Mary Boyd. So Mary Boyd is amazing. She's one of our private clients. She's in our Relentless Mastermind and our Shadow CEO, but she's an anomaly because she made a decision to trust me, and she trusted me at a time that didn't make sense for her. Fast forward, she came to me and she was doing well under $100,000. I don't want to toot horns, but the truth of the matter is that over the last 18, 24 months. Mary last year, I don't even know if I can say this. All I'm going to say is Mary finished over $600,000, $700,000. Next year, we have a goal of getting her to roughly close to 2 million, if not at 2 million. And you know what's crazy is that Mary, here's where the power of story really comes in. And this is why it's like, man, you hear me say story, and it's like, oh, find your avatar, find people like you. No, find your heartbeats. Mary is a heartbeat for me, but we're not alike. Mary said the word Moscato. Do you understand that? I have a bottle of Jack and so we should understand each other. And Mary doesn't even drink Moscato. Does everybody know that? Sure. Mary and I will go to dinner, and Mary is like, "Hey, how you doing, waitress? Do me a favor, give Mama a hard Sprite." And I'm like, I'll have 3 Jack and Cokes. No, deliver them at the same time. This is going to be hard. Right? Now, understand what's real. Mary doesn't say any words, any curse words. She doesn't talk like me. She doesn't do any, but in our hearts, we're the same. We have a level of respect for each other simply because of the fact that it's based here. She is the epitome of what it means to tell your story and be in the midst of your story simply because you can, because you make a decision. I could have tried to appease to her the religious part of her, the non-drinking side of her, but I knew that would be weak. There was nothing stronger than me going, flip! In other words, Mary, you're amazing. I give her my truth each and every time, and she allows me to be myself and to coach her, and more importantly, to peer her. Because what's real is that I can only give her the best part of me, and the best part of me is the truth. Is everything I am, and it doesn't have to be what she is here. It has to be what she is here. Mary Boyd, I love you so much. That is so good. Like, oh my, hold on, ready? really quickly. Oh my gosh, Mary Boyd. Mary Boyd, I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored. And I want to say this statement really simply. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you so much on this amazing moment and day that I had the opportunity, as I had to deliver 3 chains to people that I like. It's you. Thank you for choosing me. Mary's heart reminds me of why I do what I do, her truth and her purity. And it's not about her growth. It's just about her. Mary, I love you. She knows that, and I adore you. And I'm grateful every day that that you choose me and that you allow me to have a front row seat to what you're about to build. But Mary knows I'm very transparent. I tell her, listen, we're doing this thing. We're gonna build this, make this money. But you gotta. I'm going to Wembley, so I need your help. You gotta get to the front line. Oh, that's so good. That's delicious. What?
Hey, Tiffany, happy birthday. Oh, I am so glad to be able to be here and celebrate this with you. Mwah. You are so wonderful. And I am so very, very thankful that you're a part of my life and part of the way that I'm learning how to share my story and what I do and my passion and my ministry and my gifts. And without you, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So I just wanted to stop by with a short little video and let you know how very much I appreciate it and appreciate you and all that you give. You give so much from your heart. And for everyone who's gotten a glimpse of that heart of yours, and they don't take advantage of it, they're missing out so much. But I'm so glad that I'm here. And I'm very glad, very, very glad that you're here and part of my life and part of my chosen family as well. So just saying happy birthday.
Thank
and
you.
Celebrate the rest of your day, your born day, your happy day.
Thank you.
And the beginning, not the beginning of, but a celebration for the whole month. Actually, celebrate the whole year. You as well. It's the best way to celebrate any year and observe it. So blessings for this day and every single day of the year. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I love you, Catherine.
And happy birthday. See you soon, virtually, maybe even in person.
Yes.
Take care and God's blessings.
Kathleen Panning is one of my favorite clients of all time. It has nothing to do with anything of, she made some progress. No, because, she looked at her age, the time she has left. She also looked at how much money she spent on herself in her life. And then she said to herself, you know what, people, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it real because I'm going to learn to tell my story. She started mastering telling her story. And what's really delicious about that is that she has a radio show today. She's on TV. She is the epitome of what it means to not only do the doggone thing, but to do it relentlessly and consistently and unapologetically. She also said to me the other day, I'll never forget the other day, in the last couple months, she's like, I made XYZ dollars. And I thought to myself, woo-wee. The truth of the matter is that it was so exciting for me to watch her in this space where she was like, you know what? I know my own value. I don't need other people to tell me my value. And I'm going to charge people for the first time so that I can tell their story and so that they can hear mine. Kathleen Panning is amazing. She reminds me every day of what it means to truly love God, to love all the things and pieces in between, to have respect for the universe, and to understand that there are spirits that are guiding me, and to be able to say in the same sentence. She is the first person to toast me when I pour a glass of red grape juice. And she is the first to go and try to do what I've asked her to do. She tries to do what I have asked her to do. So the truth of the matter is that I say to herself, I say to her that, man, like, there is nothing more important to me than her and her ability to keep pressing. Kathleen, oh man, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank you. There's more. Ah, it's my baby cakes. The jet. We are buying. We are going to buy. This is Caitlin. Caitlin crushed $1 million. This is one of my favorite clients. I adore her. Oh, the hardest thing that she has ever done was trust me. They don't even know Black people where she is. Look at these pictures. She's amazing. That's Noelle. That's my best Noelle. Hey, Caitlin. That's so cool. I love it. They went to Disney. Supposed to go to Disney like once a quarter. He has like an all-season pass to all of the locations. Thank you, Caitlin. Oh, that's so amazing. Oh my gosh. Caitlin, I love. There's another.
We want to wish you a half of the Tiffany Largie and Do Damn Thing team. We want to wish you a happy birthday, and we're so grateful for all the thousands more bloopers that are to come. Happy birthday.
Ah, I love that. I love that. Look at this. We're twinning. Look at this. You see this best friend status? Look, come. This is what happens when you're in alignment. You'll be right back, baby. Believe me, it's only a matter of time.
My name is Ryan, and I'm a fitness coach at Ride Fitness. I own the company.
Daniel, dun dun dun.
What's
dun.
up? How are you?
Dun dun dun.
I just ordered some Crocs for my birthday.
Nice.
Cut him off. I didn't cut him off. He wants to follow me for half a mile. I might have been afraid for my life. So what happens is
Say no to Crocs. Say no to Crocs.
get out of here.
Listen, you and me don't even. Almost like under no one else's care. I think it gives me an excuse to one day move in with her for like 30 days. Hey, it didn't even open for a night. Did you see that?
It did. It opened behind us.
Oh, it did?
You got it? I think.
I think I got it. Oh my god.
It's a video.
We in the building. You already know. Arizona.
Alguien que me quiera.
I have this taranka-dong.
This right here?
Did you lift your foot?
Oh, I did.
You got you. We could get it.
No, let's not talk about spicy. I can do it. Oh my.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Harmonized game?
Happy birthday.
Hi, Candace.
Listen.
Oh my gosh.
No, we don't need Benji.
Don't start a fire. You don't want to burn those Christmas trees.
I am so grateful. Are you kidding me in these streets? I love you.
Happy birthday.
I love you. I love you. Oh my
We
God.
love you. We love you.
Oh my gosh.
Happy 21st.
Yes.
Listen, it's hard to be
Again.
21 at this street. It's tough. It's not stuff that's not easy, people. It is tough. I have a 20-year-old. I'm 21. There's a lot of questions in the bracket. I have to constantly explain myself. I love you.
You need to make your wish.
Okay, Espera, I'm gonna make my wish. This is gonna be my official wish. It's gonna go down in history. Ready?
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
I'm sorry.
It's the wish.
Right.
It is the wish. I don't think I've ever made a wish like it.
Okay, everybody, get ready.
Oh, this is so good. I never want to forget this. Let me make a good wish.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if 24 hours could be better than this. I want to take a moment and acknowledge all of the things and the people, but I want to take a moment and just say, Matt Gill, I love you. Matt Gill, I love you, even though you're gay. 2 times in the last 24 hours, someone asked me if that was my boyfriend, and one of the times I said yes. I did. I legit was like, yeah, absolutely. And then I let him handle the situation. It's pretty difficult, so I can't say it's the truth. Matt Gill, I love you. I love you more than you ever know on this planet. Ana Maria Gonzalez. Ana Maria Gonzalez. Tarika Dodd, thank you. Daniel, thank you. Candace Daniolo, thank you. Mark Mother Effing Stoner, thank you. Ty Cohen, thank you. Kathleen Panning, thank you. Damian Rufus, thank you. Julie Long, thank you. Avis, thank you. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Listen, we cannot forget Mary or Caitlin. You're playing games. Thank you. Kathleen Panning, thank you. Aisha, I love you all the days. To all of the people who have allowed me to be what I am today until this point, I say I'm thank you and I'm grateful. To all of the people who are going to allow me to take the next level and are going to be a part of getting me to Wembley, I say thank you and you're amazing and I'm grateful and you're everything in the whole planet. To everybody who has ever said to me, you know what, I don't think that you can do it. Tiffany, I'm going to hate upon you because I can. I say to you, ha! Watch me, mom. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. Watch me. To every community member of DTD, Tiffany Largy, or any products that we've ever sold, I say, be patient with me and know that I'm going to get us to Wembley. I promise. I have sought the world for the finest people, the best resources, and my greatest friends and allies. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that your love is what's going to carry me to that level. And what I've experienced today is something that is out of a book. I know that more than anything, that not only that I am capable, but that I was called to do this. I am on a mission to tap into the world's untapped potential. And I don't want you to forget it. Anything that you can do ever to push me forward, to put me on your stage, to put me in front of your audience, to send me a bit of advice, to invite me to your home, to school me on how we can do something better and reach more people, I promise you, that is everything inside of your ability to impact the world. We can impact a few people, we can make some more money, but then we can just go change the whole game, all of it, one time. I am not afraid. I will not be silenced. And I don't take this title or stage for granted. I know that I'm on a mission for more, for all of us. To those of you who have tuned in this entire time, I say thank you so much. To everybody who has loved me along the way, I say you are nothing short of amazing. I love you, I adore you, and I'm honored to serve you. Good night.